The F-150 lighting is exactly the same as its gasoline counterpart. So you will not find any difference in terms of bed size, interior size, everything's identical. However, the chassis for lighting is absolutely brand new from the bottom up. Okay, so Ford redesigned, re-engineered, and remanufactured, I would say a more robust chassis. So thicker gauge, high-strength steel throughout. You've got more high-strength steel as well. And the reason being, you've got this 1,600-pound battery sitting smack dab in the middle of the chassis, okay? So the chassis itself, you'll notice it does have a limited number of cross-through members. Does anyone here know what cross members are used for? What's the purpose of them? And why do truck manufacturers put them in chassis? You're smiling, Jim. Oh, it's clear, good. So these things right here. So if you don't know, no big deal. That's okay, no problem. So also a chassis has two rails, right? To kind of keep it connected, you need cross-through rails, like as you say, to keep that rigidity there. So with the Lightning, because they have the battery where it is, we have a limited number of these. So what has Ford done to create rigidity in the chassis, especially at its center? If you notice down here, some of you have been definitely crawling around underneath, but you've got a bolt here, 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 and at the end, you've got 4 on each side. Underneath the truck, if you get underneath, you'll find an under-vehicle brace which connects both sides of that chassis together. They're very, very high-strength steel, as well as very heavy-duty as well. So that brace acts for, it serves two purposes. Is that what the second purpose would be? I'm sitting on it right now. What's that? Very good, excellent. Yeah, it holds the battery up. So once those 8 bolts come out, dealers will have special hoists to lower that under-vehicle brace. As I mentioned, the battery is sitting on top of that brace. Okay, so that's how it comes down underneath the truck. Okay, you've got an electric motor on the front. You have an electric motor at the rear of the truck. What does that give you? Torque. Say it again? Instant torque. Instant torque. Okay, very good. What else? Four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive is standard. Yeah, very good. Chris? Nothing? No. Does not juice start flowing this morning right now? No? What else do you get? Weight distribution. Excellent, very good. So your name? Brian. Brian is absolutely correct. And for me personally, Chris, move back, Chris, I don't want to pick on anymore. I think for me personally, that is the biggest differentiation between the gasoline and the electric F-150 Lightning, okay? The way that this truck rides, we had a chance to drive it last year on the track. The way it drives, the way it brakes, the way it accelerates is unlike a regular pickup truck. It's flat in braking, it's flat in acceleration, it's flat around the corners. The kind of thing you were doing with this truck on the track versus a gasoline, you would never even think of doing it with a gasoline version. Okay, because you feel maybe flipping over, sliding out, flipping over. It just stays so flat, even though it's almost 1,600 pounds heavier almost than the gasoline version. Okay, and a lot of that's to do with the battery itself. Okay, the battery compartment, you guys see it here, it's quite large. We do offer 2 different battery capacities. You've got 100 kilowatt hour, which is standard. You've got 130 kilowatt hour, which is extended. Okay. However, when you look at the battery pack itself, you cannot tell which is which. The only difference is if you guys notice this part here that's risen up, if it's a extended range battery, this will be full of cells and modules. If it's standard, it'll be empty. Okay, which we had a customs and border agent at one of the shows, and he asked, what is the volume of this area here? And I know, I'll be honest with you, as Canadian, I didn't really think anything of it, because if we were to smuggle anything, it would have been maple syrup, but you guys do some crazy stuff here in the US, so if you do want to smuggle something, don't use this truck. You can if you wanted to, just kidding. Aside from its range, you've got 230 miles and 300 miles respectively for each battery capacity. I know I've had conversations, people say Silverado's got XXX amount. We can have that conversation later and why that is. It's also going to cost more, it's going to be a lot heavier as well. We have to find the equation, folks, right? You want more range, you want to pay more, or do you want more weight? Which one do you want, right? So you have to find a balance between range, weight, and cost for the consumer itself. You guys have any questions at all about the chassis, battery, or electric motors? You guys are okay? Yeah, so we'll walk over here to the white F-150. I'll talk to you guys more about Pro Power Onboard. So, at the front of the truck, And as many manufacturers in their electric vehicles, they're calling it a frunk. Okay, it is the front trunk. I know, catchy, isn't it? However, Ford has a much cooler name, of course, for our frunk. Does anyone know what it is? It includes frunk in the name. It's 3 different words together. Does anyone know? Are you guys ready for it? This is serious, okay? It's the Mega Power Frunk. Are you guys laughing?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But why is it mega? Because you get an extra 400 pounds of payload, and you get an extra 400 liters of cargo volume at the front. Why is it power? Because it will always be power whether you get a Pro XL or if you get a Platinum. Okay, so always have power either by the button here, from inside the cab, as well as from your key fob as well. Okay? The frunk itself, as you know, can I pray for a second? Yes? Your name? Caroline. Okay, beautiful. Carolyn or Caroline? Caroline. Okay, very good. Give me one for me if you don't mind. So, to give you guys an idea of Pro Power Onboard, at the front we have 4 110 volt outs at 20 amps. We've got a USB Type-C as well as a USB Type-A for charging your phones and tablets. So I'm going to give you guys a quick demo. At the front, we've got 2.4 kilowatts of usable power. So that's about 2,400 watts of energy usable. So right now, we've got a fan going, which is around 150 watts. We've got one of these lights, which is approximately 500. I'm going to turn on the best cement mixer you've ever used in your life. I'm joking, don't buy it. Mostly because it's called Built Tough, and it's spelled Built with B-I-L-T. Don't ever buy anything that's spelled Built like that. And Carolyn, sorry. Carolyn, my apologies. Carolyn's holding about 1,200 watts approximately with the saw there. So I'm going to turn on this cement mixer, and you turn on and hook that up. Yeah, you're doing good, I can tell. Hold it down. So, right there, we consumed about 2,200 watts of energy, okay? If I add this light here, which I'm going to do in just a second, we are technically going to go over the 2,400 or 2.4 kilowatts of usable power. So I'm going to ask Carolyn to do the exact same thing. So go ahead, hold it. Okay, so just like in your home, if you go over the capabilities of a breaker, everything shuts off, right? So thanks for me, if you don't mind. You can look at the top, there's a green button at the top, if you can push it for me, please. Yeah, beautiful. So once that green button's hit, the breaker resets and away you go. Okay, pretty straightforward. Thank you so much for your help. Appreciate it. This thing might fall apart when I turn it off. Also at the front, aside from Pro Power, you've got a washable area as well. So if you're at the job site, it's dirty, you have dirty boots, dirty clothes, you want to toss in the front, you can hose it down. And you've got a drain plug at the bottom here. Okay? Also, this area can be used as a cooler, if you want to throw some ice in there, keep your drinks cold, whatever you want to do, you can do that here as well. And the beauty of Pro Power Onboard, folks, is you can actually use it while the vehicle's in motion. So if you're going camping, you've got an electric cooler, you can plug it in and leave it inside the trunk and get to your destination if you need. Okay? So that's Pro Power at the front. I'll take you guys to the back now, and we'll do a quick demo at the back as well.
You know, he's in love with my F-150. I'm like, pushing it.
So at the back of the truck, we have more Pro Power Onboard capabilities. So what was the front capacity again?
2.4.
Nice, thanks for listening. 2.4 is absolutely correct. At the rear, we've got another 7.2. So who likes to do math in public? What's 2.4 plus 7.2? Thank you, very confident, I like it. Some people are like 9.4, 9. I'm just joking. So 9.6 is absolutely correct. So not in total, you've got 9,600 watts of usable power. Okay, for right now, we've got 2 lights going. The batteries are charging. I'm going to turn on both these fans. I'm going to turn on the air compressor, the cable saw. So right there, we've consumed, I think, upwards of probably 3,000, 4,000? Yeah, about 4,000 watts, approximately what we just had there. Okay, and you've got another X amount left. So that 7.2 is divided between the bed and the cab. However, if you want to use all of it at the bed, you can do that as well. So think of the firewall back on a different circuit and the front on a different circuit, okay? So in total, F-150 Lightning is offering up to 11 110 volt outs at 20 amps. And the best part is anyone here in the portable hot tubs? Anyone? Would you try one?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I like your style. The reason why I say portable hot tub is because we also got a 220 in the back as well. So if you got something that requires a lot of juice, you can plug that in. That's what we have this thing plugged in with actually, is a 220 out with all the different mechanisms here attached. Okay? And then if anyone here into a extreme tailgate party?
Yes.
Well, both of you, okay, yeah, party on. So extreme tailgate party, you've got a 20-foot projector, a portable hot tub, a PA system, stage lights, portable HVAC system, a refrigerator, and 2 blenders. And even then, you're just at 7.9 kilowatts. So you're probably wondering, Mohammed, how long is this going to last if I've got this running on a continuous basis? We talked about the battery sizes. What were they? You guys remember?
2.4, 7.2.
No, the battery capacity, sorry. You remember what they were? So that was the Pro Power Onboard. So the battery, the size of the battery. So 100 kilowatts for standard and 130. So let's say we do 100 kilowatts battery. At 7.9 kilowatts, you can run this for 10 hours straight. And no one will ever run it for 10 hours straight unless you're in a serious tailgate party. And there's a movie running for 10 hours, which is probably not going to happen, right? So the idea is that you can utilize the battery capacity of F-150 to its maximum. Now, let's say you're at the job site, you've got all this stuff plugged in, and you're using it, say, 8-hour day, 10-hour day. How am I going to get back to the depot? With Pro Power Onboard, you can actually set a mileage limit. So let's say you still need 50 miles to get back to the depot or back to the house. You can set it at 50 miles, and at 50 miles capacity of the battery, everything connected shuts off. Okay? And the beauty of it is you can actually tell real time on the SYNC4 screen exactly how many watts you're consuming at that moment. So it will either use a bar or numbers will go up as we start plugging things in and turning them on. Pretty cool stuff? Yeah? Any questions? I don't care, I'm joking. If you have any questions, we can talk about it after. But I welcome you guys all to the future of electrification with Ford Motor Company, where we've taken electricity and turned it into lightning. You guys get that? Lightning? Electricity? No, just me? All right, cool, that's fine. All right, if you have any questions over here, myself, I think Pat was here somewhere as well. But ask away. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, Mohammed, the extended range battery. Okay, total KW on that?
130.
Okay,
Yep.
so the pack itself, it's not lower, doesn't interfere with ground clearance?
No, the Lightning is a little bit lower than the equivalent gasoline version, but it's not a huge difference though. Yep.
Okay, so I like the equal weight distribution, or at least striving for that.
Yep.
So with handling, it seems like that would impact handling.
It's phenomenal. Like like I said, I've driven a F-150 gas across the country in Canada, so originally from Canada, obviously Ontario to BC and back. And just having this thing on the track last year when we did the dealer training event, the things we were doing with this truck you would never think of doing with a regular gasoline vehicle, just because of the weight distribution. Right? Typically, in a pickup truck, most of the weight is at the front.
Yes.
The bed is always considered light, right? Where the electric motor in the back, at the front, the battery smack dab in the middle, pushing down, almost 600 pounds pushing down at the center of the vehicle.
Yeah.
You've got, I would say, the best handling truck on the market right now.
So that seems like that could translate into safety as well.
100%, yeah, absolutely. Braking, acceleration, stability, all that stuff comes into play.